Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by thelines.com. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander. Joined by my guy, Nate Whitesir, coming from New Orleans right now, about ready to get out of here, eat some beignets. So we are going to talk about some player props here. We've got 4 for you on a 3-game slate to choose from. Not a ton out there, to be honest with you. Still some wonky stuff going on with the lineups in that Wizards and Bucks game with plenty of guys questionable, but we've got plenty to talk about here. So make sure to like and subscribe to that page. You can also check out the other couple game videos we have up for you today, and also head to thelines.com. That's where you can check out all the written stuff. That's basically what we're talking about here and more. And you can also use that odds finder tool to make sure you're getting the best juice back on all these bets you make, including these NBA player props. So Nate, let's jump into your first NBA player prop for tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about the Jazz Kings game. This total's been bet up to 242, so gotta like the 2 point centers, if you will, that will be going head to head here. We're each taking them. Lauri Markkanen, you're taking Domantas Sabonis. I mean, the last time out, Markkanen had 36 points on 16 for 24 shooting, and 6 of those misses were beyond the arc. So he went 1 for 7 from 3 against Sac, still had 36 points. He shoots 56% from the floor and 47% from 3 at home. That's good for a 135 offensive rating. Prop is at 25.5 points. I would like to tack on the rebounds there, 32.5 in his last 4. He's averaging 12 boards to go along with 31.5 points. Just been on a tear, including a huge game against Miami. You know, we talk about Utah being reliable to score. I mean, their last 2 home games were against Miami and Washington, 2 great defensive teams on the interior. And Markkanen's still getting his. Utah's still getting many, many points at home. So I think you like the over here, because then you look at Sacramento, 123 defensive rating in their last 5. Their last 3, 5th worst defensive rating, giving up the most paint points in the league. Because as I mentioned in that game video, I don't think Sabonis, he can still contribute on offense, and he's still scoring at a high rate down low, but I don't think he's going to put his body on the line too much. He's playing with a fractured thumb and was never really a defensive stopper down low in the first place. So it should be easy for Markkanen to for those guys to just kind of trade buckets, because Markkanen ain't stopping him either.
Yeah, sure. Like, neither of these dudes want to D up. They just want to score. Or, you know, to be fair, like, Domas is filling up the stat sheet all over the place. So I'll just transition to talking about him, because it's a pretty easy segue going from Lauri Markkanen is going to score on Domantas Sabonis, and to also say, yeah, but also Domantas Sabonis is going to score on Lauri Markkanen or Kelly Olynyk. Doesn't matter. Whoever you put out there, Jared Vanderbilt's not strong enough, and is also considered probably their second big man, or they're 4 at this point, where the way that Lauri Markkanen plays the 3. So either way, there's nobody out there. That's why we took him last time. That's why I kind of just look at who's the big man of playing Utah tonight. If it's somebody that I think can attack the paint and attack the boards, then I'm going to feel pretty good about it. So Domas is at 21.5 points. He already hit for us pretty nicely the other night on his 28, 11, and 8 that he scored on the Jazz in his last time out on the 30th against them. But, 13 straight double-doubles. So I'm also looking at the points and rebounds, 34.5. You can get minus 104 for the points on FanDuel, minus 108 at Caesar MGM. That would be the best odds there for the points and rebounds at 34.5. So, looking at where you want to get either the combo or the points for him, I'm fine with whatever. I mean, he went 12 for 12 from the field in this last one against them. And even, despite having an injured thumb, if you will, went for 31 in the first game versus Denver, where he was sort of hurt with that thumb injury. So I think, even though you mentioned that he is a little bit, it's a little bit of a problem, like putting up little lefty hooks off the glass and little tip-ins off your offensive boards doesn't really need your thumb. You can just kind of use mostly, your 4 fingers there and be fine. And in a position where Utah is so bad against, opposing centers, they have the 9th worst defensive easy for me to say, efficiency at home overall. And like I said, allowing the most points per game to centers, the 4th most rebounds to them. So there's a lot of possessions, there's a lot of rebounds, and there's not a lot of down low presence for Utah. So I always feel good about a guy like Domantas in this situation.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think we covered it with each other's props here. I mean, it's going to be a lot of trading buckets. Maybe Walker Kessler gets out there and tries to guard Sabonis, has a big body, but I mean, he's a rookie, so I mean, he can get a nice lesson in the all the reverse pivots he learned from his daddy Arvidas. So. Giddey, folks. We are going to talk about the Thunder Celtics game after all. And no, I'm not taking a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander under. They're trying to bait you into that at DraftKings with plus odds on under 28.5. Look, the last time these teams played, SGA had 37 on 13 for 26 shooting, a ridiculously high usage rate, and he only had 3 assists. He has 7 assists and 9 turnovers in 2 career games. And Josh Giddey, because it's just kind of a one-man show, against Boston. It's tough to bank on under 4.5 assists for a guy who's averaging 5 assists in his last 11, but they are giving you plus odds on that. I think the safer bet is under 28.5 PRA, because I think he might not be scoring very much either against a really good Boston defense. And no double-double if he's not able to get those 10 rebounds. I think that's fair. But the big thing is the limiting the assist. That's the reason he's not going to get to PRA, because Boston allows the second lowest assist to field goal ratio on the road. OKC has the third to lowest assist to field goal ratio at home. Again, because it's a lot of just SGA manufacturing offense. There's not a lot of ball sharing going on here. And the Celtics have so much length on the wing and in the backcourt. Marcus Smart, Brogdon, and Derek White. Whoever you want to throw at Giddey, it's going to be tough for him to get his, and he's only averaging 14 points per game at home. So I find it hard to believe he gets to 29 PRA altogether.
Yep, I mean that's the heart of that Boston defense right now kind of seems like it's starting a little bit further out in the perimeter, right? And like guys that are, Rob Will's doing his things to a degree, but in that, let's just say that the style of play that Denver plays with a point forward like Jokic is a lot worse of a matchup for Boston, I believe, than a team where they're really playing from the outside in as opposed to any other way than more like the inside out, right? Like you get Jokic the ball at the free throw line or in the post, and your offense is money right now if you're Denver. That's not really how you're going to get points for the Thunder here. You're relying on guys like Giddey to do more, and I don't think that that's exactly what Boston's defense that's where it's strongest right now, especially with the way Marcus Smart is playing up top. So staying in this game to finish off props for today, let's go with big Papa Al Horford, Papa Al peripherals, as you look at the rebounds and assists for him at 9.5. That's at even money there for him to get over 10 or more than 9 rather. You could also look at the rebounds. That's 6.5. Getting 7 boards would be minus 120. And then a double if you think he's going to get close to the amount of rebounds he's been getting against this team. That's plus 540 for Al. Look, Rob Williams is questionable, so more time for Al. More time for Al on the road, as he's been averaging a couple more minutes a game as well this season, including 9 points, 7 boards, and 2 assists on the season on the road. The last 3 that he's played versus OKC, he's averaged actually 9 boards, 8 points, and 6 assists in that time in 32 minutes a game since he's gotten to Boston. So, back to Boston, those last 3 were all against the Thunder as a member of the Celtics. And yeah, OKC, like I said, their down low defense, their paint defense, their big man rotation, not really solid. They allow the second most rebounds per game and the third most assists to centers. A bunch of points. They're still in like the bottom 5 in terms of allowing points to centers as well. They also just play at the third fastest pace, so you expect there to be a decent amount of boards available. And if Boston's, as we said, Boston's team defense really, like the teeth of it is at the top. So I think you can feel good about Papa Al getting a bunch of rebounds and being able to sort of board up on the defensive end as well. So I think he's just a really good bet tonight as a big man playing against the Thunder.
Yeah, and he does have double-doubles in 2 of those 3 rematches with OKC. It's not really like a huge revenge factor at this point anymore. It's just kind of a good matchup. And his dimes are kind of being underrated here. I mean, the odds are minus 140 on him to have 1 turnover. And he's a guy who can, easily get 4, 5, 6 assists just within the flow of the Celtics offense naturally. So if we're setting odds that like he's never going to turn the ball over, he's just going to keep it moving, Boston's ridiculously efficient offense is going to get him some assists. And then, like you said, the pace is just going to get him some rebounds. So that's why we like the peripheral stats more than the points.
Yeah, well said. I agree with all that. So that is all the time we have for you in our player props video on this little 3-game slate tonight. Make sure to like and subscribe to that page. Check out the other couple game videos we have for you. And until we see you next, happy betting.